the definitive and Go podcast top 10 Tuesday list of overrated directors. Coming in at number 10, Martin Scorsese.
Based on the number of good movies, I feel like Scorsese is an easy number 10.
Okay, I'd agree with that.
Number 9, James Cameron.
So who do we feel is overrated, but not egregiously so?
James Cameron.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good place for him.
I'd agree.
Again, because of his recent, body of work, I think.
Yeah.
That's
Because if you were to
acceptable.
rate him in the 90s, then he was living up to the hype then.
Agreed. Yeah. He just keeps putting his name on, maybe even as a producer, on shitty Terminator movies.
Plus, let's be honest, he got really weird.
He did. Yeah. I was going to bring
Who in
up his,
Hollywood
overall.
does not get weird.
Tom Hanks, apparently.
Yeah.
I bet you
True.
Tom Hanks is into like some weird kinky shit. Like no one is squeaky clean.
Number 8, Quentin Tarantino. So finally in our number 8 spot, I could see, even though I liked Birdman, Alejandro Inarritu, Alejandro being on the list makes sense. We only have the one spot left. Is he more overrated than Quentin Tarantino?
I mean, that's a tough one because, like you said earlier, Tarantino, like people go insane.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a tough one. That's a tough one.
I feel like Tarantino is a good number 8 here.
Okay.
Now, Alejandro, while overrated, only really has 2 movies under his belt. Was overrated for like 3 years there, and then everyone kind of forgot about him, I feel.
True.
Whereas Tarantino's overratedness has been going on for like 2 decades. 3 decades, really. All right. Number 7, Tim Burton.
We still got Tim Burton looming out there, like so many Johnny Depps or something.
You just want to put him high on this list as you can. You're like, come on, Tim Burton. Let me get
Honestly,
these
if
2
this
chumps
were-
to agree with me.
If this were a podcast that I were doing alone, Tim Burton would be every single slot on this list for overrated. Number 7, Tim Burton.
All right.
Purely overhyped. I mean, again, we can have a conversation. If he doesn't end up making the list, I won't cry tonight. I did last night, but I didn't really cry last night.
Just for Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, we're putting him at 7.
Sorry, Hot Topic kids.
Yeah, I'm not going to push back on this. I don't like him enough. And you're right. He did do Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
This is a fact.
6, Guillermo del Toro.
As
What
a
did
number
Del
6.
Toro really do?
Exactly. And everyone loses their mind for him. So a number 6
exactly.
it is.
Okay.
Number 6 it is.
Number 5, George Lucas.
I'm feeling George Lucas at 5 here.
Yeah, I thought that was going to be controversial, but yeah,
No,
glad
I'm
you
not
guys
going to
are on board
argue.
there.
I could even say that I think George Lucas is more overrated. And I know I was the one trying to put Kevin Smith at number 2, but now that we're talking about it, I feel like George Lucas is more overrated than Kevin Smith.
Ouch. As a director, let's be clear, as a director.
As a director, yeah.
Yeah.
Again, you hear, oh, George Lucas directed. So
Yeah,
the fuck
so-
what? What does that mean?
Yeah. Not as a filmmaker, because that's totally different.
Agreed. Yeah.
Number 4, Ang Lee.
All right, so number 8. I feel like this would be a good spot for Ang Lee. Just because people...
No, I
when
think
they-
Ang Lee goes to the lower section. What good has he really done?
Well, my main thing is... Well, that's kind of what I'm saying.
If he's overhyped, I mean, he's not really hyped that much.
I feel like when people say, oh, Ang Lee's directing, oh.
I don't.
I have heard that. I don't really know if I'm familiar with a lot of his work, to be honest. Hold on, let me...
Crouching Tiger.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I think that was overblown. It was a good action movie. So he's
Probably
good at
just called
directing
that.
action.
But there's nothing else. You said you liked Life of Pi. I'm not a big fan. I liked Brokeback
Yes,
Mountain.
the directing
No, I'd
was...
put Ang Lee pretty high on the list.
All right. Slot him in at a 4. Do you think he's more overrated than Kevin Smith?
No, maybe
No?
He
no.
has.
But the 4 spot though.
Number 3, Kevin Smith.
Kevin Smith's done some stinkers after his New Jersey trilogy. In reality, he's not that great of a director, period. He's unique. I would say he's more of a niche, and when he gets out of that niche, it just.
Can we just take a moment, now that we're talking about Kevin Smith, because this really bothers me. So I had the Clerks 2 special edition or whatever with the commentary, And he was talking about how at the end of Dogma, Alanis Morissette closes the book, right? And it's supposed to be closing the book on the Askewniverse. So he said, "Oh well, I felt this conundrum because Alanis Morissette was supposed to close the book on the Askewniverse at the end of Dogma, but here we are making Clerks 2." And he said, "Oh, but I always built in this little back door where when she closes the book, where the bookmark is, there's still a lot of pages left, right, at the end." So he felt okay about making Clerks 2. And then at the end of Clerks 2, they make a point of the book is on its last page and Alanis Morissette closes it again, and that's supposed to be it. Now, flash forward 10 years or whatever it is, Jay and Silent Bob the reboot, and he went on record as saying, "Oh, this one really ties the whole universe together." It's insulting. I felt insulted, personally. Why make this... I didn't even think about Alanis Morissette closing the book. But now you want to go back and say, "Oh, this one really..." Like, bro, you just need money. We can see that. It's very obvious now. Just based on how much notoriety they get versus their body of work, I feel like Kevin Smith is a number 2 here.
Wow. All right.
He really pissed me off with this Jay and Silent Bob thing.
I can tell. I can tell. If
Yeah.
you feel that strong. As you said before, it's not a battlefield I want to die on, so all right.
Number 2, M. Night Shyamalan.
Brian, I'm putting Kevin Smith at number 2. What are your thoughts?
I think M. Night Shyamalan is slightly worse.
That's kind of who I was thinking as my second as well, but I could go either way.
Here's my thing with M. Night Shyamalan, though. He doesn't get a lot of hype now because of his shitty movies after Sixth Sense.
Historically, I feel like he did, though.
That's
Because
fair.
people still talk about, "Oh, how good was The Sixth Sense?" I'm just like, I don't know.
I still really like saying Shyamalan twist.
Yeah, what a twist.
All right, I can be talked into it. We'll put M. Night Shyamalan at number 2 because he did get a lot of hype.
He did.
So that's fair.
The others that we didn't end up numbering, Alejandro Inarritu, Christopher Nolan, which I personally don't agree with, and Clint Eastwood, and our number 1 most overrated director. Vegas odds were high for this one, and they were right, Michael Bay.
I think we should judge each one by its merit. Just place them where they fall, and whoever drops off the list naturally.
All right.
Anyone who wants to make a case for number 1, do so now.
Michael Bay.
That's an easy one.
I feel like he's just so bad that you kind of have to put him at number 1 because any sort of credit that he gets makes him the worst overrated director.
Number 1, Michael Bay.
I mean, you guys are welcome to disagree, but...
No, I feel like that's...
I just don't know if he should be on this list, because does anyone rate him highly?
Hollywood keeps giving him money. I don't know why.
Yeah, I feel like Michael Bay is kind of like... remember how back in the day when reality TV first came out, no one would admit that they liked it, but then they would get these tremendous ratings? I feel like it's the same. People still go to see his movies. Bad Boys alone, kind of... I am not a fan of Bad Boys. I don't get the hype. And he did Bad Boys, obviously. So...
someone that I do not think is overrated is Edgar Wright. I feel like Edgar Wright is appropriately rated. He gets some notoriety, but people don't lose their shit. What about Taika Waititi?
I feel like he doesn't get enough hype, honestly.
Yeah, okay.
I think he's underrated.
I'll take that. All right, so how many have we got on the list so far? We have Tim Burton, George Lucas, Ang Lee, James Cameron, Quentin Tarantino, Alejandro Inarritu. Again, poor pronunciation, I'm sure. Christopher Nolan, Michael Bay, M. Night Shyamalan, Guillermo del Toro, Kevin Smith. Just for context, I'm going to list off a couple of more of the ones from IMDb's list. Just because it is hard to come up with names off the top of our head. Robert Zemeckis was on this list.
Yeah.
What?